very welcome you all to the new course of Control System 1 E503 for 5th semester students of Electrical Engineering Department. Myself, Bishamay Pal, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department, is going to introduce this new subject to you all. So, before studying first topic, that is lesson 1, Introduction to Control System, let me tell you what is Control System 1 and what we are going to discuss under this subject or under this course. Control System 1 generally deals with different terminologies with associated with Control System 1, different schemes, different stability analysis, different modeling techniques we'll be discussing under this course. Generally, this course is applied to all the engineering fields such as electrical engineering field, mechanical engineering field, computer or biomedical engineering field. Everywhere control system is required. Why it is required everywhere? Because you may have a system, but until you get desired response from that particular system, that system will not be of much use in real-time applications. So, under this subject, this course, we'll be discussing how to control a particular system as you desire. Suppose you want to control room temperature of a system. During a very hot season, it is desired to have 25 to 30 degrees centigrade temperature at the room so that you won't face any uh, problem related to that summer days. Very cold season, you might have a huge problem regarding this temperature, this cool temperature. In that case, the room temperature will be monitored and it will be fixed at 25 to 30 degrees centigrade, although the ambient temperature, outside temperature is around 15, 16 degrees centigrade. This is application of a control system. This is a basic application of a control system. By controlling room temperature, you are actually facilitating the user, the people who are residing in the room, they should feel comfort in terms of weather. So under this course, we'll be discussing different control algorithms, different control techniques in order to control a particular system. Now let us move to our today's topic. Today's topic is Introduction to Control System, lesson 1. Under this topic, what we'll be discussing, that is given in next slide. So let us move to next slide. Under today's topic, today's lesson, we'll be covering introduction. Let me take annotation. We'll be discussing introduction. We'll be discussing open loop and closed loop control system, examples of different feedback control system, and applications. So under this introduction section, under this introduction section, what we'll be discussing? We'll be discussing what is a control system, what is necessity of control system. In next topic, we'll be discussing what are the basic control actions that are open loop control system and closed loop control system. So what is advantage of open loop control system? What are the advantages of closed loop control system? What are disadvantages of these two systems? That we'll be discussing with some practical examples. Next part is example of feedback. What is feedback? How feedback works? That we'll be discussing with the help of some examples. And last one is few applications of control system. Uh, Let me tell you, applications of control system find in wide range of engineering applications in electrical engineering field, mechanical engineering field, electronics engineering field, computer field, in biomedical engineering field, in everywhere you will find application of control system. So how these control systems are applied in order to get desired output, desired response, that will be discussed. Let us move to now next slide. Okay. This slide tells us about what are the outcome of this lesson. So after successful completion of this lesson, we'll be able to understand the basic of feedback control system. What is feedback control system? How feedback control system is used to get desired response, and what are the basic terminologies associated with feedback control system, that will be able to understand. We'll be able to understand the necessity of control system in real-time applications. For example, you all are familiar with ceiling fan speed control system. So what do we do? We used to change regulator position. You may find regulator position will be there are five different regulator position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If regulator is placed at 5 position, fan will be rotating at its maximum speed. If regulator is at position 3, fan will be rotating at moderate speed. If it is in one position, fan will be rotating at a very slower speed. Now, during very hot season, during these days, say in the month of June, July, in our region, there is huge. Uh, this is summer region, summer time, and this during this summer time, what happens? We used to keep the fan speed at its maximum. For that, we keep regulator position at position 5. During month of October, November, what do we do? We keep the fan turned on with a moderate speed. Say we keep regulator position at 3. So depending on weather condition, if you are feeling hot, you must uh, rotate the fan at its maximum speed. For that, you must keep the regulator at position 5. Similarly, during the October November month, when you don't need much uh, speed of the fan, because ambient temperature itself is cooling down the room temperature, so you may require fan, but fan speed is not needed of its maximum speed. That is why you may keep regulator position at 3, so that fan rotates at moderate speed and you can feel comfortable. So that is how we must use fan regulator to monitor speed of the fan. So this is the necessity of using a regulator or using a control system to operate a practical or real-time system. So here real-time system is the ceiling fan, and regulator acts as the controller to the ceiling fan, which is moderating speed of the fan, regulating speed of the fan. And last point, it is mentioned that conceptualize applications of control system in practical fields. So what are the applications of control systems in practical field, that we'll be discussing in later slides. And once those slides are discussed, you'll be able to conceptualize what are the different applications of control system, how can we apply those control systems in order to get desired tasks, that we'll be discussing in next slide, next few slides. Okay. Now let us move to next slide. This slide tells us about the basics of very basics of control system. See, here we are studying control system. Under this course, you'll be able to you'll be studying different systems and how those systems are being controlled. Now, before studying control system or before studying the course how to control a particular system, you must have a clear idea about what is a system. Now we'll be discussing about what is a system. A system is nothing but combination of different elements. Those elements can be mechanical, can be electrical, can be chemical, metallurgical, electronics, biomedical, pneumatic, hydraulic, any combination of these elements. For example, suppose you want to you have a air conditioning system. In case of air conditioning system, there is compressor which works on pneumatic. There is a electronic controller. There is motor which is electrical type. There are some mechanical arrangements of air conditioning system. So an air conditioning system is a smart system which is combination of these basic elements. So a system comprises of different elements which could be mechanical type, could be electrical type, could be metallurgical type, electronic type, anything. Now, control system is a system which deals with controlling of those systems. A system is combination of this mechanical, electrical, chemical, metallurgical, electronic elements. Now, those elements are combined to form a system, and there is another system which is known as control system, which is used to control that particular system. Suppose you want to control air conditioning system, a controller is needed to control the entire operation of air conditioning system. So control system deals with managing and regulating output behavior of a practical device or a practical system to obtain desired result. The thing is, whenever you are doing some task with a practical device or practical system, you desire to get a response, you desire to get a result. A control system will somehow manage or regulate the output so that you can get desired result. If there is no control system, then in that case there may be a huge difference between desired result and actual result. For example, suppose uh, you are in now third year, you aim to get 90% of marks in fifth semester. To get 90% of marks in fifth semester, you must study accordingly. Now, in the internal examination, suppose you have got 60% of marks. That clearly indicates that you desire to get 90%, but you are getting now 60% of marks. So there is a gap of 30%. So what should you do? You must regulate your study pattern. You must increase the time of your study so that you can achieve that result. So a controller does the same thing. Controller continuously monitor the actual result and desired result. If there is significant amount of difference between desired result and actual result, controller will take some control action. Controller will regulate the system so that the actual output will reach to desired output. So a control system generally deals with managing and regulating output behavior. So how it regulates output behavior? Just in order to get desired output, it regulates its output behavior. How this control system performs, that we'll be discussing in next few slides. Next point is, Control system engineering focuses on the analysis and design of system to improve system speed, accuracy, stability. See, these are very important terms: response speed, accuracy, and stability. What is speed of response? For example, suppose you have 20 years back computer, you have turned on the computer, and processor is so slow that it takes 3 to 4 minutes to get the desktop window. Now, today's computer takes around 20 seconds or 30 seconds to get the display the desktop displayed. Now, what's the difference between these two? 20 years back computer was a bit slow. Now today's computer is a bit faster. So what you want? You want, just after turning on computer's switch, your display should appear at a faster rate. So this is speed of response. If your control system or if your system is uh, good, then it will have a faster response. So it is desired to have a faster response. So being a control engineer, later you'll be targeting to design a system which produces a faster response. Next is accuracy. What is accuracy? Suppose you want a fan to rotate at 1500 rpm, but somehow that fan is rotating at 1300 rpm. So there is a 200 rpm gap. Now, this implies the accuracy. You want 1500, but you are getting 1300. So, accuracy is not much precise. So, in order to get precise accuracy, you must use a controller, precise controller that can be used to reduce the difference between desired and actual. And next one is stability. What is the stability? A system, whether a system is stable or not, that we will be discussing using different control algorithms, control tools, such as Nyquist criterion, Bode plot method, uh, Routh-Harwich criterion. This criterion will be used later to determine stability of a system. Now, why stability is important? Because suppose a system is accurate enough, but it is not becoming stable, then that system will be very hard to handle. So stability is an important factor to control, to have a proper control system. So these are few important terms which are associated with control system engineering. Next point is a control system works on cause effect relationship. What is cause effect relationship? That I'll be discussing in next slide. Let us uh, let us leave this part as of now. In next slide, we'll be discussing what is cause effect relationship. And last point, it is given a simple example of ceiling fan speed control system using fan regulator that we'll already discuss. Okay, next let's move to next slide. Now see, what is a control system that we discussed? A control system is used to regulate a system so that it can achieve its desired output. So there are basically two different types of control systems. One is open loop control system, another is closed loop control system. In case of open loop control system, what happens? See, open loop control system is much easier to implement. See here, it is this block shows an open loop control system. What happens here? See, first let me tell you what are these blocks. What are these blocks? In control engineering, in control engineering, any system or any device can be represented by a block. Suppose this is a controller which is represented by a block. This is a process which is represented by a block. So any process, any device, any controller, or any physical object can be represented by a block. Now, what are these arrows? See, these arrows are defining some signals. What are those signals? Suppose uh, you want a fan to rotate at 1500 rpm. Suppose you want a fan to rotate at 1500 rpm. For that, you must give an input to the system. So you are giving an input to the controller. For example, you want your ceiling fan to rotate at 1500 rpm. For that, you were setting regulator position at 5. So this is nothing but you are giving a command to your controller. You are giving a command to your controller that regulator position is set at 5. So controller, once controller gets the set point, the desired response point, controller will accordingly take action and produce an output. Depending on that output, this output of the controller is entering to the process. Process will be operating accordingly. So if you want to rotate the fan at 1500 rpm, suppose this is your fan. Suppose this is your fan. Now, suppose you want your ceiling fan to rotate at 1500 rpm. For that, you have kept regulator position at 5 here. Once regulator position is kept at 5, controller will get the signal and controller will produce an output accordingly. That output will be fed to the fan and fan will start rotating at 1500 rpm approximately. So that is how this controller works. Now see here, whether this fan is rotating at 1500 rpm or not, that cannot be monitored because at this point, at this point, we have not used any sensor that can sense the output speed. So for open loop control system, we do not use any sensor. We just give some command accordingly process will react. And this is the open loop controller. This is our open loop controller. This open loop controller will take control action and process will be regulating accordingly. But as no sensor is used to get actual speed of the fan, you cannot have further control action on the system. If uh, you want fan to rotate at 1500 rpm, but somehow due to some disturbance or some noise, fan is rotating at 1300 rpm, you will not get any information regarding that. That is why this controller, this open loop control system cannot give us very precise result, very precise output. But as no sensor is used here, no feedback signal is used here, we do not have much complexity with such control system. So the applications where uh, simplicity is required, where much preciseness or much accuracy is not required, we must use open loop control systems. So what are the advantages of open loop control system? These are simple to construct. As I told you, There is no necessity of, there is no use of sensors to get the actual response. That is why removal of sensor makes the construction of this open loop control system simpler. As no sensor is used, it is more economical, its cost is reduced, and as this process is a bit simple, this is more or less a bit stable in comparison to closed loop control system. Okay, now let us move to next slide. Now see, this is a closed loop control system. This is a closed loop control system. In case of closed loop control system, what happens? In case of closed loop control system, see here, this is block diagram of a closed loop control system. If we compare with open loop control system, the controller was there in open loop control system, plant was there in open loop control system, and an input was there in open loop control system. But for closed loop control system, what happens? One feedback element is extra added, and one error amplifier or error detector is added. So this pink circle shows these are two elements extra added to a closed loop control system compared to open loop control system. As these elements are added in extra, so cost of this closed loop control system will be increased. First point. Second point is, as feedback element is used, as signal is error detector is used, so this makes the construction complex. This makes the overall system more costly. But why do we use all these extra components? We use all these extra components because we want a precise output. Suppose you want 1500 rpm at output. You want 1500 rpm at output. Accordingly, you must provide an input signal corresponding to 1500 rpm output. Now, what happens? You have provided an input signal corresponding to 1500 rpm output. Whenever you have provided an input signal, initially there is no feedback signal, because until at the very starting time, the plant or the fan, suppose this is fan, see, this fan will not start initially at the very starting point. When input is given, this input will be entering to controller. Controller will decide what to do. Depending on controller's output, that will be fed to the fan or plant, and fan will start rotating. The desired speed of fan is 1500 rpm as given here. But somehow, say actually your fan is rotating at 1300 rpm. You had given a command of 1500 rpm, but somehow fan is rotating at 1300 rpm due to some uh, external disturbances with the fan. Now, if this fan rotates at 1300 rpm, you want 1500, but fan is rotating at 1300. If there is no sensor used here, fan will continue to rotate at 1300 rpm. Fan speed will not reach the desired speed. In order to get the desired speed, In order to get better accuracy, a feedback element is used. Generally, a feedback sensor here will be using a speed sensor. A speed sensor will be using here. This speed sensor will send a signal to the error detector. Now, this is 1500 RPM. This signal should be corresponding to 1300 RPM. So, an error signal of 200 RPM will be generated. This 200 RPM signal will be fed to controller. Now, controller will decide that, yeah, I need to speed up the fan. Why? Because error signal is 200 RPM. So depending on this error signal, controller will increase or decrease speed of the fan, and accordingly fan will get its speed to 1500 RPM. Once fan speed is 1500 RPM, once fan speed is 1500 RPM, this 1500 RPM will enter to this point. Now this is plus 1500 RPM, this is minus 1500. So error signal now will be generated 0 RPM. Clear? Now this zero error signal implies that controller will take no further action to increase or decrease the speed of the fan. Rather, it will keep the fan speed at 1500 RPM. And that is how the fan will reach its desired speed. Now, just let me go through these points which we already discussed. A closed loop control system uses a measurement of the output. See, this is measurement of the output feedback. This is measurement of the output feedback. And it is compared with the desired output. This input is desired output. This is actual output. This is actual output. And this is desired output. Depending on desired output, actual output will try to trace the desired output, desired level. So this closed loop control system will generate an error signal comparing desired output and actual output. Actual output will be sensed by the sensor. Closed loop control systems are more accurate, as we discussed, capable of reducing noise. Whatever the noise is there in the plant, that will be taken care by closed loop control system. It is more sensitive to changes of input or disturbances. Its dynamic and steady state response can be regulated. Dynamic response or steady state response is dynamic response is related with speed of the response. So if you want a faster speed, you can change its control algorithm accordingly to get the better dynamic response. Similarly, steady state response is dealing with accuracy. The accuracy you can also take care by using controller. So these are advantages of closed loop control system, but these are costly and more complex. So these are two disadvantages of closed loop control. So these are very basics of open loop and closed loop control system, and difference we already discussed what are the differences between these two. So the applications where more accuracy is needed, we must opt for closed loop control system. Okay. Next us let us move to next slide. In these slides, we'll be discussing in next few slides we'll be discussing about very basic examples of different open loop and closed loop control. Now here 12 volt 500 rpm. Now see what happens. This 12 volt 500 rpm motor implies if this motor gets 12 volt, it will rotate at 500 rpm. If this motor gets 6 volt, it will rotate at half of the full load speed accordingly. Now, this is a variable potentiometer. This is a variable potentiometer. Now, this potentiometer can vary a voltage level from 0 to 12 volt. Let us consider for simplicity, gain of this amplifier is 1. Gain of this amplifier is 1. So what will happen if this motor is, or if this wiper is set such that this this signal produces 12 volt, motor will rotate at 500 rpm. If speed setting is set at half of 12 volt, that is, if it is set at 6 volt, motor will decrease its speed accordingly. So by changing this wiper position, by changing this wiper position, we can change speed of this fan. So this is an example of simple example of open loop control system. By controlling speed setting, by controlling the speed setting, you can control speed of the motor. This wiper can move left or right. Okay, this shows the block diagram of the same thing. Okay. Next, let us now move to next slide. Okay, this is an example of closed loop control system. See, here we have a process. Here we have a process. This is the process which is to be controlled. Uh, Control system finds this wide range of application in process control system. Process control system may be controlling flow rate, controlling uh, boiler temperature, whatever. So suppose this is a process control system in which this process is to be controlled. Now see, this is the controller. This is the controller. This controller is having a set point, that is desired input. This is the set point. This set point, or this is also termed as input, or this is also termed as desired output, because the point at which you are setting the input, output should follow that input, should follow that input command. That is why it is termed as desired output or set point as well. Now this is the set point given to the controller, and depending on this set point, controller produces a controlled output. Depending on this controlled output, this control valve will operate. This control valve will get turned on or will get turned off. So if this, depending on this set point, control valve is turned on, heat will be transferred to this process. Process will get heated up. As process is getting heated up, a temperature sensor will sense the temperature of this process, and through transmitter, this process variable will be sent to the controller. This process variable is nothing but a feedback, isn't it? So this process variable is a feedback. Now, a temperature sensor measures the temperature, and through transmitter, it is entered to the controller. Now, controller will take a control action depending on difference between set point and process variable. Process variable, this is the process variable and this is the set point. Comparing these two, an error signal will be generated. This error signal will be minimized by the controller. So the task of controller is to minimize the error signal. So until and unless the error signal becomes zero, controller will continuously take its action and process will be monitored accordingly. This is a process control system example. Let us move to some other examples. This is a car driving system. A driver is driving his car. So see, that is the driver. Driver is the controller here. Driver is controlling the steering. So driver is controller here, who is controlling the car using steering mechanism. So driver and steering together forms the controller, and this is the car or automobile. Now, suppose suppose you want to track this path. Suppose you want to reach this destination, but somehow the driver is driving his car in this direction. If driver is driving his car in this direction, what will happen? Driver will try to control his steering so that he can he can reach to his destination like this. So driver will try to rotate his steering towards left in order to reach desired destination. So let me tell you, this is very interesting. Which is acting as sensor here? Here, here, eye of driver acts as sensor. Driver is visualizing the target point, desired point, and accordingly he is controlling. So eyes of driver or visualization of driver acts as the feedback device here. Okay, so this is a car driving control system. Next, let us move to another example. Temperature control system. See what happens. Suppose you want to control room room temperature. For that, what will you do? We'll use some room heater or something like that. So this is room heating process. This is room heating process. This is a temperature sensor. This is a controller, and this is actuator. This is controller. This is actuator. This is plant. This is sensor or feedback. This is set point. Okay. So the elements used here are basic elements which we already have seen in block diagram of closed loop control system. So how it works? First, a set point is given, a desired temperature is given, a thermostat based controller is placed here. Depending on set point, controller will produce an output, and depending on the output, the actuator or hot water control valve will be turned open or will be closed. So by opening or closing this water valve, hot water control valve, you can actually speed up heating process of the room. If In case room temperature is, suppose you want 25 degrees centigrade, somehow room temperature is 30 degree. What will happen? This 30 degree will be sensed by the temperature sensor. Now temperature sensor can be anything, RTD, thermostat, thermocouple, whatever. Your room temperature is 30 degree, but your desired temperature is 25. So a minus 5 degree centigrade will be generated here, will be produced by the error detector. Depending on this minus signal, uh, depending on this minus signal, controller will understand that the actual temperature is more than desired. That is why controller will close the valve. Controller will send a command to the control valve to close it, and accordingly room will not get more heated, and its temperature will be decreasing slowly. When it reaches 25 degrees centigrade, when this temperature reaches 25 degrees centigrade, this error signal will become now zero, and controller will take no further action. So that is how you can have proper control on room temperature control system. Let me tell you what are this set point. This is process variable, which is nothing but the signal. So this is error signal. This is output of the error signal, which is controlled variable. This is the variable which is to be controlled, and this is the variable which is controlled. After control action, this variable is produced. And depending on this control variable, this valve will operate and room temperature will be monitored. So move to next slide. See, in this slide, what happens? This is showing a closed loop DC motor control system, in which this is the motor which is to be controlled. This is the motor which is to be controlled. Now, see, a positive supply is connected to the motor, but negative supply is connected to this switch. This is a switch. This is a switch. This switch can act as turned on or can act as turned off. When uh, this signal enters to the switch gate terminal, this switch will act as closed path, or this switch will act as on. Whenever this switch is on, what will happen? See, whenever this switch is on, a current will flow through the motor, through the switch, through the ground. So whenever switch is turned on, motor will start